All right, everybody, I'm back live, man. I had a few technical difficulties, but I'm back, and hopefully everything works out now. So let me try to get this going. I'm waiting on Mr. Bvoboxing himself to come in here. Like I said, he's an up-and-coming YouTuber. He knows his boxing, so hopefully he'll join me in just a minute. And he has a nice channel on YouTube. It's Bvoboxing. He'll be joining me in just a second, so I can talk to him, discuss boxing, and a few other things. So y'all just give me a second. Hopefully. I don't think he's never done this before on Instagram. So he's having trouble getting in. See if I can invite him. Yeah. All right, man. Here we go. Here we go. You know, we both some old dudes, man. We new to this, man. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How about you, bro?
Man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I can't complain. Like I told everybody, this Mr. BVO boxing. What do the BVO stand for, brother? If you don't mind me
That
asking.
stands for Brent's very own. My uncle Brent was a real big inspiration to me. So everything I do, I always remember him by Brent's very own. So that's what that
That's,
means.
that's what's up, man. Let everybody know to get to see this video. This man right here, man, he a good dude. But man, he was picking Ryan Garcia
Oh,
now. Sometimes sometimes I don't like his picks or whatever, man. You know, he be having me baffled with his picks, but he stuck with it. Hey, he's committed to something. He's committed. That's one thing I've learned about you already. When you commit to something, you ain't changing your opinion or your mind for nobody. You don't care what nobody say. If you believe it, you believe it, man.
yeah, absolutely, man. You got to be that way. You can never let what somebody else think. And I'll tell you, that was one of those times I got caught picking with my heart. I seen Oscar and now Ryan. That was my fault. Because you remember when Oscar fought Sweet Pea, he had won a decision. And see, what I also was thinking about, a lot of people don't think about, was that there was no way they was going to let Ryan lose if he would have
Right,
hurt Tank. You seen it with
right,
the 10th round when Ryan went on the ground. I know
right.
you seen that spawn. So I thought the fix was in, and I thought Ryan would be more disciplined. And of course he wasn't, but it's just funny it's funny how that went.
Yeah, it was. And I know you because you keep up with boxing like I do.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I know you seen the Canelo fight with John Ryder or whatever. And
Yeah.
I was telling, like I said, I was talking to Greg Hackett earlier, and I was telling him, you know, see, like to me, the Canelo skills are kind of diminished. I didn't see him throwing as many punches. You know, it seemed like he was looking for one punch, and it seems like his head moving wasn't there anymore. So now, it seems like a lot of people are calling him out. And I asked Greg Hackett this question earlier, so I'm going to ask you this. You know, between the Charlo brothers, which one would you say is more deserving of the fight, and which one do you think has a better chance?
I would say I wouldn't think any of them deserve to fight. You got to go dare to be great yourself. You got to
Right,
you got to dare to be great yourself. The only reason I say that is because in boxing, I think. Hold on, my bad. There's somebody driving past me.
okay.
In boxing, I think in boxing. Hold on, sorry, man. I'm over here in the hood visiting some people, so you know how that goes.
All right, okay.
Yeah, but in boxing, man. Oh, no, I just lost my train of thought. What we just? Oh, and too many of these people have been waiting on Canelo as like a lottery ticket. And at the
Right,
end of the day, you go dare to be great yourself and stop waiting on Canelo to do what he got to do. You know, go do your own thing.
definitely.
Don't worry about Canelo. If David Benavidez fought Morrell, if Morrell fought Charlo, if Morrell fought Boo Boo, it wouldn't be no need to worry about Canelo. At the end of the day, remember that when David Benavidez lost his belt on the scale, he was offered the Beterbiev fight, and he said no. And he's bigger than
Right,
Beterbiev, taller than Beterbiev. So that's the kind of thing we're living with now. So it's just kind of funny how that.
definitely right about that.
Charlo, Andre, they got to get off Canelo's nuts, man. It's bad, bro. They got to get
Yeah,
off his nuts.
yeah, it's bad. I'm gonna tell you, I'm not big on the Jamal Charlo because I think he's been out of the ring too long, and really his resume to me it just sucks. So I ain't gonna lie. Now Jamel, he would have to move up 2 weight classes, so that kind of throws me off. But I do love Jamel. I think he's willing to fight anybody, and he is undisputed at 154, which is big. You know what I'm saying? So I have a lot more respect for him than I do his brother. But Canelo's last fight done, I think, 250,000 pay-per-view buys, for what I'm hearing. Now, the Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis fight done 1.4 million. Now, a lot of people don't want to give Ryan credit for that, but Ryan has something to do with that as well. But do you feel like Tank, he has something to do with that, But do you feel like Tank is the face of boxing now?
I would say this. If you put David Benavidez and Canelo in the ring, you're talking about 2 million pay-per-views easy. If you put just those 2 million so at the end of the day, Canelo's still the face of boxing because even fighting a can like John Ryder, who's been knocked out before, beat to death before, he still did 200,000. It just, what it reminded me of? You remember when it was a funny thing. You remember back when I don't know if you remember Run DMC. Remember Run DMC had that Run's house.
Yeah.
Whose house?
Yeah.
But
Run's house. Yeah.
You remember Strata Compton came out, and when we heard Easy Man, it was like, oh my God, it's over with for DMC. DMC kept going, but it's a new movement coming. So over time, to be honest, yeah, I'm sure Tank could take over. But what we need, and let's be honest, we got to get us a big Mexican, like a Oscar, like a Canelo. I hate to say, you got to have a big white Mexican in boxing if you want to have the numbers. It's just that simple. You got to be.
You're right about it. And to make the super fight, to make a fight like the Floyd and Canelo or the Floyd and Manny, you got to have the opposition basically in boxing on the other side because they're going to bring in their fans and we're going to bring our fans. Yeah. So you got to have both in order for it to be a mega fight. It's very rare, in the past, when you had Sugar Ray and Thomas Hearn and Marvis Hagler, you would take 2 black fighters that have the mega black fight. But you don't hardly get that anymore. So it's a different, like you said, it's a different day and age. And, everybody want to see, I ain't gonna lie, like Ryan, I like Ryan Garcia, father fighter. And like I was telling somebody the other day, I hope Ryan bounces back. You know what I'm saying? I hope he doesn't put his head down and give up. Because I really felt like, what I was trying to really wanted to tell you, I felt like they were throwing him in there too early. I know he wanted it, but I felt like that he needed like another fight or two before he, had that fight with Tank.
I wouldn't say that because, just to be totally honest, he's going to always lose that fight because Tank is on another level. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Tank is a lot like he's probably the first boxer puncher we've seen in probably about 20 years or so. More like what Floyd was, natural weight class, or more like a super. And the boxer puncher almost doesn't exist in boxing anymore. So he was never going to beat that style. You never. And even Oscar De La Hoya, who got some of those wins over those boxer punches or those slick fighters, so to speak, he barely got them. I mean,
sure, you're right. You're right.
He got you remember he was beating B-Hop to death, and B-Hop got a liver shot, and it was over. So
it was over with.
That's a tough style, bro. It's a tough style to beat, man. No matter what, it's gonna be hard to beat a black slick fighter, man. That's why Bob Arum and now Eddie Hearns is continuing that tradition. No black fighters. That's why, because it's tricky, bro. Yeah. They tricky.
They sold on that too, man. It is crazy, because I be listening to I don't know, I like Devin Haney a lot. He's one of my favorite fighters. I love Lomo. I love Lomo style and everything. So I really didn't want to see them fight each other because I really didn't want to have to pick between the two. Yeah. So I'm basically trying to be neutral and just say, well, what do I see? Now, I don't know, like with the Ortiz fight, I got to tell people, people got to realize that him and Lomo sparred a lot of rounds. So when you spar somebody constantly, you're going to know that, you know what I'm saying? So you can't take that fight and judge where Lomo really is. I think this fight with Haney will tell us, is he over the hill or does he have something left? So that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing. Now, what I'm scared of a little more is Haney is such a big guy at that weight class that I feel like it's going to be a tall task for him to be able to beat Haney.
Yeah.
But Haney doesn't have the power.
Yeah. And you know what? Haney don't have the power because Haney is 5'8", squeezing down to 135.
That's what
And
I
that's the
said
thing
earlier.
that we missing, man. We need to have more same-day weigh-ins, more rehydration clauses, because at the end of the day, really, you could probably say Devin Haney could probably go up to like 154, 160.
He could.
But
Yeah.
I hate the term weight bully. Basically what it is, he know how to control his weight so he can come down and fight you. That's all. He can
Right.
his weight.
He's good at it. He's good at it. And I'm telling you, I had said this to Greg earlier. I told him, I said the problem with Haney's power is he's dropping so much weight that he's not able to, the next day he's not be able to rehydrate that he really needs to rehydrate to have that power. And see, that's what I was telling people about the fight with Tank. This is what I think was going to happen, the way I see it playing out. If Tank and Haney fights, they have to fight at 140. If they fight at 135, I don't think Haney can make Tank respect him. You know, I don't think the power's going to be there. I see Tank fights different styles every time. His IQ is high. But I think that he would be willing to take a punch or two from Devin to get his off. You know, because I feel like he thinks he can hurt Devin. Just from what he said about Spawn. How you see that fight playing out if they fight?
The fight won't happen. I'll tell you why it won't happen is because Tank's going to require a rehydration clause. And we all know Devin can't make no rehydration clause.
No, he can't.
He could on his best day he couldn't make a rehydration clause. So really I don't see that fight happening because I know Tank's going to demand a rehydration clause. And I'm telling you, when we seen Devin the last time make that weight, his eyes were sunken in. He looked like Crypt Keeper, man. So it's you know, we didn't never see that fight, man. I hate to say it, but that's just boxing for you, man. You're never gonna get certain fights because they just not feasible or they run out of time.
One to two.
Really, when it come to Tank, it's really what can Sugar Shakur do, and Sugar Shakur is the only person that might can beat him. That's the only person that might can beat him.
Yeah, and I noticed something about Shakur that you brought his name up. His power, he actually looks stronger at this weight class than he did at 130. To me, you know. Now the thing is, I believe that he has enough to make Tank respect him, and it turns into a thanking fight. But what I do know is this right here: anybody with Tank, like you said, he's a boxer puncher. If Tank catches anybody right, you're out of there. I just don't feel like nobody at that weight class is going to be able to stand up to that power if he catches you right. You know, maybe Shakur gets up, you know, if he gets caught. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? We ain't never seen him hurt. So it's hard to say, you know, how hard it is. But I just think that's going to be the fight, like you said. But if a new guy in town now, new sheriff in town, I know, you know, you've been hearing the talk about Andy Cruz.
Yeah.
You know, people talking about him. I think he's a two-time Olympic gold medalist. I did see when he beat Keyshawn that last fight. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was close, and it could have went either way. You know, but what do you think about him?
I think it's gonna be terrific. I think Frank Martin is gonna be the best of that next group of young guys. Maybe I think it'll be Frank Martin, maybe Shushu might be the next. Okay. I think at that 135, I would even. I mean, he's fighting at, I think he's at 135 still. Schofield, that's another one who I think could be. It's a lot of these young guys, a lot of young cats out there. Really, it's not even no fun thinking about it. They got to fight, man. At this point, man, they got to fight. We've been hearing so much about this and that, and these guys never fight. I want to see somebody fight, man. That's my main thing. I want to see a fight.
Do you see Bob putting him in? Do you see Keyshawn is with Bob Aaron, right? Or who is
correct?
He's okay. Do you see him putting him in there with Frank Martin, like anytime soon?
No, because Frank Martin would kill him. He would beat him to death.
Yeah,
it would be. He might get a.
Yeah.
How bad he'll beat. He probably get arrested, man. How bad he will beat him, man. Because at the end of the day, man, there's levels to this, man. You know, everybody wants to play the games, like, because they got a few skills. You know, you remember back when Kimbo Slice was to be a fighter?
Yeah.
And got beat up by some goofy little kid that had just started fighting.
Yeah, I remember it good.
Here we're all professionals. This ain't the backyard.
Yeah.
So
hurt my feelings. My feelings because I love the Kimbo.
I love Kimbo Slice, but the thing is, there's a between guy that's tough at the barbecue and the guy that's tough that's an Olympian. I
So
mean,
live.
Frank Martin is a real live contender. He beat Michelle Rivera, who was juicing,
Yeah.
beat him to death. So it's really no way that you could say that. And and he didn't even get out of there early enough for me to say that he even has a chance yet. I'd say maybe 3 years from now he might can beat him, but not now. Not now.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you this, man, too. One of the reasons, like for a minute, I'm gonna tell you one thing I've learned about the YouTube scene or whatever, you know. Like I have my Facebook, I have a lot of stuff going on. And one of the things with me, I really just cut back on making videos. I was like, man, you know, one thing I've learned, and somebody taught me this, that they got a lot of followers and stuff. They said, it's not your friends and stuff. People call you, they're not even going to follow you at first.
No.
They're going to be the ones, like I've learned, they'll sit back, nobody having time. I've asked them, like, hey, subscribe to my channel, you know, this and that. And they like, man, a lot of times you think people really want the best for you, but they don't. But I started seeing, you know, I watch the videos all the time. And I started seeing your videos.
Yeah.
And man, I was like, you know what, you motivated me really to start back, you know what I'm saying, doing what I set out to do, man. That's I want to thank you for that, because that's the only reason I got back into this. I
appreciate you, man, because one thing I'll tell you about us as blacks, we engineered to not support each other. We engineered not to take care of each other. And what you got to think of it like this. I never thought, when I did YouTube, I never thought about people I know, because it'd be the people that you know that won't give you $1, bro. And as my brother would say all the time, you know, instead of playing stupid games and getting stupid prizes, why don't you just do what you know to do? And that's go out there. And you can't expect family, because family would be the ones that come around once you make 1 million subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. That's I always believed in you, man.
right,
always
man.
You. That's just been the common denominator, man. It's not even. I don't blame anybody when it comes to black and Spanish people. That's just something that we've done. And I gotta say, not so much in the Spanish culture as it is in our culture, but in our culture, man, it's very much so the whole, why is it him? Why isn't it me? But you can't get credit for work that you didn't put in. So that's kind of how I look at it. I take YouTube pretty serious. And it's growing. I mean, where I want to be. I've been doing it 6 months. We got 650,000 views. I thank God for that. But we just coming.
It's a blessing. Right?
Yeah,
it's a blessing.
Because YouTube would do something goofy like slow you down. Like YouTube can kind of slow my growth down. But we all know, man, if we keep at it, it's gonna work. And you got to keep doing what you're doing, man, because you're gonna get haters, man. I done had some of the goofiest things, but hey, man, I was a kid growing up. I was a fat kid growing up with cheap shoes on, so I could take a joke and I could tell a good joke. So that's gonna really get me stirred up.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna hold you too long, man, Mr. BVO. I appreciate your time, man. I just want to tell you, man, like I said, thank you, man, for motivating me again. I want you to continue doing what you're doing. And one last thing, what do you think? I just want to get this in. What do you see happening for Wilder? What do you see next for Wilder? What do you think he's gonna do?
We know that Al Heyman is gonna do him right. He's probably gonna fight Anthony Joshua, get a big bag, and then he's probably gonna fight Usyk, beat Usyk, and then he's gonna get beat to death. Probably, if not, I think he should stay away from Tyson. I think Tyson Fury will kill him.
Me too.
Seriously,
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that again.
Keep playing with Tyson Fury, man. You can't get beat like that and think that you're gonna live, bro. That's a good way. That's a good way to. He took some years off Wilder's life. You need to stay away from Tyson. It's just
because I believe that's the only person. I think he's the only person that can beat Wilder. You're right.
Hey, it was only one person that could beat Sugar Ray Leonard, and that was Duran. And what happened? Sugar Ray Leonard played that game and knew Duran wasn't in shape for the second fight, and that's when he made it. So
you're right.
That's how I go, man.
Yeah, you're right, man. Hey, bro, you enjoy your day, man. God bless you, man, and hopefully we can talk again, man.
Absolutely, man. Same to you, man. Like, comment, subscribe to my man OG with the kicks, man. It's your boy Bvoboxing, and we gone. Peace.
Yeah, right. Peace.